I tweeted it. We're live.
Word. All right, we're live. Spinning back fist. Unfortunately, no Bob this week. He's out, but we got myself. We got Jack Mac.
I tweeted out on spinning.
I'll tweet out the link right now.
We are live. We are here. Ev, off a early flight.
Yeah,
back from Chicago. Obviously, Chicago is a wild, wild place right now. But this weekend we got UFC Paris. We've had some stuff happen in the UFC world. Nothing crazy. I feel like over the past few days. I guess Bilal went on a podcast with Usman and Cejudo, and Bilal eviscerated Usman or something. And
that's what he claims.
And
they haven't put it out.
They're not putting it out now. Maybe this is a work of sorts, if you know what I mean.
Could be.
Because it could be something like they're trying to hype it up, and then we know who's the producer of that. He's a smart guy. Maybe they knew that would happen, and then they'll eventually put it out. But honestly, that may be good for Usman if there becomes kind of a beef between Bilal and Usman for a potential fight.
I think that's what Bilal wants, because I think he sees. Listen, I think anyone sees it. You see Usman as you Shavkat. I'd say give me Usman right now. I think most people would.
Yeah.
If you're talking who you think is the easier fight, I was trying to look for a different word, easier fight, because I don't think Kamaru is an easy fight by any means. But comparing Shavkat with Usman, I do think at this point in their careers that Shavkat poses a more dangerous threat to taking the belt.
100%.
Did you see the clip from the same podcast? It must have been this week. Of DC.
Yes.
And the Kamaru basically saying he was. Well, he didn't say it. He was going to say that he thought that at this point, John Jones is basically on the same level of McGregor in the sense of getting to just pick and choose what fights he wants.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even think he meant it in terms of selling pay-per-views or anything. Just purely John Jones gets to pick whatever fights he wants and doesn't want. And then DC basically said that he thought he was going to compare it to Michael Jordan of MMA. And then Kamaru was like, I wasn't, but if he kind of is. And DC got so upset.
DC was not happy
by him saying that, really upset. And to be honest, I understand the rivalry, but I don't think saying that about John Jones for the sport of MMA right now is the craziest thing when it comes to, and Kamaru said himself, he's not talking off the field, out of the cage, purely in the sport. I mean, he's the clear dominant, he's the 1-1. There's no, John Jones is just the GOAT. Michael Jordan's just the GOAT of their sports.
Yeah, no,
I don't think it's that crazy to say.
I don't think it's crazy to say either. I think I get why DC got mad, but is it that crazy? No, I agree.
I think he gets mad because of the steroid, the failed drug test.
Yeah.
I think that's what upsets him. Now, I've seen a lot of other people say that's why the arguments against it are basically saying that Michael Jordan never had a advantage, a physical advantage, that he cheated or anything like that. Everything he earned on the court was fair and square. And that John Jones, there'll always be an asterisk. Was the people arguing against him, that was their argument, which I understand it.
Yeah, no, I understand.
But I mean, he also fought. So the one that Jones failed, that was the one where he knocked him out, or the decision win. I was trying to remember which one was the one.
I forget. But it was a picogram, right? That's where the picogram comes in. Let me check. I'll check it right now.
I just trying to remember off the top of my head if which fight he failed, because the one he failed after, correct too? Because obviously he failed the one when they didn't fight, the whole video of Dana telling DC. But didn't he? Oh no, he didn't fail one technically after.
No, wasn't it before? There's that.
No, but it was the clip with Dana and telling DC we can't fight.
We can't fight.
We can't have you do this.
But the new rules pretty much clear him now.
That of the USADA right now, or I guess not USADA anymore, but of the drug testing, that if he had failed in that same light, he would have been he wouldn't have failed in theory.
Yeah, because it was such a small picogram. Obviously, picograms you can't even see it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's up for interpretation. We're not smart enough to know that. But in the new USADA rules, that's why he's always. I remember him kind of celebrating. Then he also celebrated when the 12-6 elbows kind of got allowed back in.
I forgot about that too. Yeah, that breaks soon, right? Is it the end of this year? Or
It's
before, I think it's.
October.
I thought it was before the end of this year. I thought it was in the next like month or
Maybe it wasn't the 12-6 in
two.
October.
It might be October because I thought it was like before the end of 2024.
And then there's the new rule regarding grounded opponents.
Yes, you can only it's the hand down doesn't count. You have to be like I think knee.
Yes,
I
it has to
believe
be all
your knee.
four.
Your knee has to be touching the ground, not just like you can't just be up on your 2 feet and you put your hand down.
And then
like
it strategically put it down,
Mhm.
which I think is a good rule, and
Great
everyone
rule, 'cause
agrees with that.
People started using that too. Like it was just annoying.
Yeah.
Where you have them in a vulnerable position and they just can slap a hand down. All of a sudden you can't knee them in the head or whatever.
Yeah, it's when they're like, yeah, it's like almost like they're bending down and like stretching.
We've seen it. We've seen it a bunch. I know Arnold Allen and Evlov had like a situation where Arnold landed a big knee, and that was kind of like controversial. There's been obviously a few of them.
Jan versus Figgy got announced, which is obviously a fight that
China card, main event in China.
We kind of expected it was going to happen, but I mean, that's going to be a great fight.
Amazing fight, and I would say clear, in my opinion, #1 contender fight.
Yeah.
Maybe if you disagree, I'm open.
No. So do you think it will be who wins? Like that'll be Merab's next fight, or Merab fights Umar?
No, I think Merab will fight Umar.
Yep.
But I think that'll be like, I think the winner of this will be clearly next in line.
Umar
Umar will get it next, but I think the winner of this will get, I think no matter what happens in that fight, unless say Umar and Merab put on like the craziest war of all time and it like has to get ran back kind of thing. I think outside of that, Jan or Figgy winner gets the next shot at 135.
Do you think one of those guys would have to beat Sugar?
Before that?
Yeah.
It's possible.
But
it's
possible, actually, especially for Jan.
The reason I say no is because Sugar said he's going to take a long time off. And that fight's going to be the end of November. I believe it's November 23rd. I believe it's booked for. So there's enough time where you have like basically exactly 2 months from now. So if that Merab Umar fights, which I think would be probably the first quarter of 2025, it would set up nicely for like that fight happens. Obviously by that time the winner of Jan Figgy will have played itself out, as long as, knock on wood, that nothing happens to it. And then it's set up nicely where like that fight happens early 2025, and then the guy that whoever wins that fight is just kind of set up for, all right, but can fight like mid to end of 2025. And I think either of those guys won't mind waiting a little bit because you're going to get a title shot.
Yeah. No, obviously.
So I'm sure they'd be fine waiting 6-8 months for that fight.
Both those guys are a little bit older, specifically for their division. Obviously, younger guys are.
Jan's pretty young age-wise, weirdly enough. He's not old.
But
Jan, I think he might not even be 30 yet. Or he might be like 30. I'm pretty sure Peter Jan is like 29.
31.
All right, is he 30? Because I know when he won the belt.
32 in February.
All right, so he's a little older than I thought. Because I knew when he won the belt, he was in his 20s.
And at 135, you kind of get a little bit older quicker. But they still have like more than enough time. That fight's awesome. Either of those guys against Merab would be phenomenal.
Incredible fights.
Yanni's
already fought and smoked him. Obviously. But then there was some talk about Jan was injured coming into that fight. So I would still be curious to see it play out.
And then Umar.
It could obviously just be Umar as well, who hasn't fought either of them.
Umar's kind of been a little bit cryptic in how he's saying like they still haven't booked a fight for me, yada yada. But I feel like, we're 2 weeks removed from Merab winning.
Yeah, you're not even, like, let the guy celebrate his championship before you're
he just like
book your next fight right now.
He put it I think he had an Instagram story where it's kind of like, yeah guys, like I know you think I have the championship fight next, but I haven't been booked. But it just happened. Umar just happened.
That would be fascinating if they made him fight one more.
But like what he did to Corey, I think should be enough.
It was a close. I think so too. I guess it wasn't that close. It was competitive, I would say, but I think Umar. Well, what stood out to me was that Umar just did so well on the feet in that fight. To me, I thought that was the thing. Like, he's ready for sure for a title fight.
Yeah, I thought he was great. I even thought Corey was kind of impressive in that fight. It obviously it was a 49-46, 50-45, depending on how you scored it. But like Corey, it was as close as a 50-45 can be. It wasn't like a pure domination.
He defended the takedowns pretty well.
And also for a guy that I thought he was probably going to get subbed, he defended it really well. He didn't get into any terrible positions. That just goes to show how powerful or how stacked that 135-pound division really is.
Sure.
And how a guy like Corey Sandhagen may retire without ever getting a belt. even though he is one of the best fighters of this generation. I mean, I'm not going to call him top 10, but he's up there. I mean, talk about a guy that's been nothing but impressive. But sometimes the things just don't break your way sometimes.
He would be an interesting guy to give if Jan or Figgy the winner of that fight doesn't immediately get the winner. That'd be a decent fight to book them if Sugar's going to take a long time off.
Yep,
but Jan beat Sandhagen already
pretty handedly.
If he did, but it was a while ago now. It was a few years ago. I think
it was COVID, right? I feel like it was 2020.
It was the night that Burns fought Hamzat. It was that night.
It was?
Yes, I'm pretty sure.
No, I think it was that may have been Burns. That may have been Burns Kamaru.
No, because the reason I can remember, because I watched them both in the New Jersey gambling cave. And I thought it was Hamzat Burns, and then it was Jan.
UFC 267.
And then it was Jan Sandhagen, I thought, for the interim belt.
This was Blachowicz Teixeira.
Which I thought was that same night. I thought that was the top 3 fights in the bill. Was like the...
No, it's Hamzat Lee.
You want to know what it...
And then it was Volkov, Tybura.
I watched both at
Ankalaev, Vulcan. You know what? This fight, speaking of this weekend, this is the crazy Dos Santos against Benoit fight where Benoit died like 80 times but didn't die.
It was that card?
Yeah.
You want to know what it must have been?
This was in Abu Dhabi.
I was traveling through it. It threw me off because I watched both those. I watched the Hamzat Burns and then that Jan Sandhagen at the Hoboken gambling cave. But the Benoit Saint Denis, the ZDS fight, I was traveling. I must have been on the college football show, was traveling back, and then I had to stream that night or something. I equate so many things. I remember like where I was when I watched it. I just happened to watch both those at the same time.
October 30th, 2021.
No, that makes sense.
I remember that was that's one of my best bets ever, Glover.
Yeah, I was on Glover too, because I guess I watched a bunch of fights there.
Yeah, we watched a lot of fights over there.
Just streamed a lot there.
We would watch them because
I had one of my best nights ever. Had huge bets on the night when Figueiredo beat Moreno, in the trilogy, and then it was when Ngannou beat
Gon.
I was on both those huge.
Was that March?
Yeah, probably.
I feel like that might have been March Madness.
It could have been. It definitely could. I also the one night I had a huge bet on. I was like on fire, and then had a massive bet on Cater over Giga.
Yeah, that was on.
And I'd won a bunch of fights leading up to it.
That was NFL playoffs. I remember.
Yes, just reminiscing on remembering the wins feels good.
That's good. It's sometimes we remember the losses.
I've had disgusting amount of losses in 2024.
All right. I'm trying to think of if there was anything else.
Just the Macau card broke. The Volkov Gon fight's off. Volkov got hurt, so he pulled out of that fight. They moved Ige and Leroy Murphy to the main card, which honestly, that's such a banger. It should have been on the main card all along.
Volkan Olberg will be November 23rd in
that's
China.
In China also. That's Ozdemir Olberg's a great fight.
And then obviously Jan Ritchie or Jan Janan. And then Nick Diaz, UFC 310.
That's still, it's one. Shout out Vince Dice. Hooper versus Clay Guida.
Oh, that's unbelievable.
At 310 as well. That's a fascinating matchup.
Oh, and then Anthony Joshua got flatlined.
Oh my God.
Have you been seeing the edits of Joshua like talking before, and then Joshua was talking some shit. I get it. He was trying to sell a fight, but like Dubois was like really just like he stood on business the entire lead up to this fight. And it wasn't, I mean, looking at the odds, it was a big upset, but it wasn't anything like, holy shit, this is the craziest upset ever. It was like minus 400 plus like 280 kind of, but still the way, and he was piecing him up. It wasn't like a knockout out of nowhere either. He was piecing him up the whole fight. So shout out Dubois.
Yeah, I mean, I thought the fight almost should have been stopped a few rounds before. He had Joshua hurt so badly.
And then
the other one he made him do the chicken dance, and then he was just crushing it with blows against the ropes. And where Joshua was basically getting held up, where he almost was like sitting on the rope. he got caught in like a weird spot.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
His ass was literally caught like in between the two ropes, and he was sitting on it and just like eating punches.
And
then finally got basically hit the deck like at the bell.
that Better Biev Bivol fight had his press conference. That's going to be possibly one of the biggest fights ever.
Incredible fight.
I mean, it won't be like people like you won't be going out that day in like wherever you go out and people like, we got to watch this fight. But people that are in the know are going to be like, I can't wait to watch this fight. All that being said, though, some great boxing coming up. Some great. When's Ryan Garcia? Is he still like suspended?
Yeah, he's still suspended.
It was funny. Fury said when Joshua lost, he lost $150 million bet because his fight with him is not going to happen. I mean, so like would Usyk fight? But they already fought.
No, well, Usyk and Fury are gonna fight again.
Makes sense.
I think they're fighting in December. I think it is.
Makes sense.
I think they have it booked already.
And then the full PFL card dropped today. Not most of the ads we've heard about.
Yeah, we knew pretty much all the fights.
They put
Rafion Stott. Yeah, he's fighting on like the prelims. Yeah, and also Rainer. I don't know how you say it, Rainer.
De Ritter.
They basically UFC signed the one champion. I believe he was the middleweight and light heavyweight champion, and he's going to fight at middleweight. He's fighting
Dutch.
Dutch. He's fighting GM3,
which I think is a great first fight.
That's a great first fight. That's a fight where like you believe in this guy, and you're like, hey, how good are you? Let's find out, kind of thing.
And then
if you go beat, because I think what they'll do with a guy like him, if you have high hopes, if he goes and like smokes GM3, he gets top 15 basically immediately. I think if he beats GM3, especially a finish, I think he gets top 15, and then you go from there.
Yeah. All right.
But I'm gonna say we'll get into the UFC Paris card. A really, really awesome card. I'm very excited that I don't have a college football show this week, so I can just sit on the couch, watch college football, and watch the fights. But obviously, it's brought to you by DraftKings. Shout out DraftKings. We're talking touchdowns. We're talking tutties. Taking to the house in for 6. Whatever you call a touchdown, one thing is for sure. Touchdowns matter more at DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sportsbook partner of the NFL. On the ground, in the air, from special teams or defense, we don't care how they score them. We just want to bet on touchdowns. DraftKings Sportsbook is delivering. Ready to place your first bet. Try betting on something simple like picking a player to score a touchdown or how many touchdowns will be in a game. Go to DraftKings Sportsbook app and make your pick. Ready to do the touchdown hits your own need. New DraftKings customers right now. Bet $5, get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Use promo code BACKFIST. That's promo code BACKFIST. Bet $5, $200 in bonus bets. Phenomenal deal. Shout out DraftKings. Score big with DraftKings Sportsbooks, the number one place to bet touchdowns or UFC. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code BACKFIST. That's code BACKFIST for new customers. Get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only at DraftKings. The crown is yours. We'll be all weekend. I know me and Jack, we bet in college football. We bet in UFC fights. Very, very excited for this card. Incredible main event. And just incredible bangers up and down the card. Very excited to jump right into it and break it down for you guys. First fight of the night. Balaji Oki versus Chris Duncan. Oki's minus 185. Chris Duncan plus 154.
Sorry for putting the graphic in like all over your face there.
That was all.
We sometimes the graphics team they'll send us these things to put on, and I guess they just forgot to put that in the lower third. But DraftKings is going to be a great. Oki, this guy, he's an interesting prospect. They really like him, but this is not the easiest of tests for him.
Not at all. Duncan's so fascinating because he's very well-rounded, but he's chinny, though.
Yeah.
And facing a guy with power, you're always going to be like holding your breath the whole time. I kind of, I thought about this and I wanted to take Oki like by knockout. It's plus like 120. But then I ended up kind of settling. I don't know if I haven't locked in yet. I'm not sure if I'm going to bet it, but I think I've gotten closer to leaning towards Duncan plus 154. Okay, I mean, in his UFC debut, he fought Timmy Kwamba, who's a guy like another Contender Series guy, or Timothy Kwamba, Contender Series guy. Didn't finish him. Had a good fight, competitive fight. Duncan, I just think this is kind of bet. Like if he just doesn't go in there and just like get flatlined, I think he's super live to win the fight. I'm curious if he can get the grappling, the wrestling going. I think he might be able to, and I think that's I imagine that'll be a route in this fight that he will take. Because I think he knows getting into a firefight here would just not be probably a great idea for him.
No, yeah.
Yeah, I kind of think he's going to wrestle. I kind of like Duncan plus 154.
Yeah, I'm more in the Oki camp, but the line movement, I thought it'd be a little bit larger, which kind of scares me a little bit. I think Oki can kind of just like 1-2 jab him to death here with the reach and length. He has pretty good get up defense, but if Duncan gets him flat, I think he could really do something special on the ground to him.
For sure.
So right now I'm sitting it out. But Oki, he's an interesting prospect. He obviously looks like $1 billion, but Chris Duncan's not going to be easy for him. This is a great first fight of the night.
And I will say one thing you mentioned on the mat, Duncan by sub plus 1400.
That's where I would rather go, to be honest.
I think that's worth a shot. I think that's definitely. I just feel like that's a big number. I feel like that should be more like 8-9, like 9-1 kind of thing. 14 seems big. So yeah, I might even take a little sprinkle at that. But yeah, I kind of like the Duncan experience here a little bit. But yeah, Oki, I definitely think this is an interesting fight for him. Like if he gets a big knockout here, it definitely could be.
Yes,
like, I think he definitely could see him getting a big fight in the future. Next fight, we got a female fight. We got Jacqueline Cavalcanti versus Nora Cornelli. How do you fucking say her name? Cavalcanti minus 218. Nora Canole plus 180.
Yeah, very fascinating way, fascinating names. In this one, I kind of liked. So this is actually a rematch. They fought, I think, on I forget which fight organization, but Cavalcanti we saw, I think, like a month ago. I liked her at like minus 180, but now she's up to like minus 218. I think she takes care of business here, but I don't know if I'm willing to pay the price. She handled Nunez really well, but Nunez like had her like weird moments, but Cavalcanti looks like she's kind of improving. So I would lean Cavalcanti here. I've not placed a bet though. And I think the first fight was really close, but I think Cavalcanti has really taken a few steps forward.
Yeah, I'll pick Cavalcanti to win, but definitely not going to bet it. It's always tough for me in a fight that I think is going to be like somewhat close, probably. Just laying that much juice is something I don't really love doing, but yeah, I'll pick Cavalcanti to win. The next one, we got Victor Altamirano versus Daniel Perez. Altamirano minus 130, Perez plus 110. I believe Perez is from Spain, I believe.
Yeah.
I kind of like Perez as the dog
too.
here. Altamirano,
second UFC fight.
Yeah, Altamirano, I'm just not crazy about. Yeah, I kind of like Perez here. I think he's probably a little more well-rounded.
I think he has more speed. I think he's a little bit better on the feet. And I think Perez, he had a lot of hype coming into his first fight. I remember it was kind of like MMA Twitter hype, and he lost. But this is one where I think he kind of gets it back. Altamirano's not awful by any means, but I think Perez, I think he trains with Topuria. I could be wrong though. He trains at Entram, which I think
it might be with him.
But I'm with you, Perez. Maybe I'm just making this up, but all that being said, though, this is a good fight. Like Altamirano's going to look for takedowns, but I think Perez's takedown defense is decent. So it really comes down to that. If Altamirano can get takedowns going, then he'll be in trouble. But I think if Perez keeps this on the feet, and even if he only keeps it on the feet for 70% of the time, I think he has a clear path to victory. You get underdog money. So yeah, we're on the same page.
Yeah, I think you're getting some value here, in my opinion, because of the loss. I think he should be the favorite. Next fight, we got the twerk queen, Aileen Perez versus Daria, one of the craziest names I've ever seen. Zeleniakova.
Yep.
Aileen Perez is minus 238.
I'm sorry, I just can't take it. Aileen minus 238.
I agree. I think she should win. Like, I'm picking her to win the fight. She actually has already been on record calling this an easy fight. Aileen wants Kayla Harrison. She continuously keeps calling out Kayla Harrison. She said she's going to down, even though Kayla Harrison is fighting and basically going to be a number one contender.
Yeah.
Fight. So, I mean, she's going to have to win a couple more fights.
That's an insane call.
She's going to have to win a couple more fights to get to Kayla Harrison. But yeah, I agree. I like Aileen in the fight. I think she wins. I'm not going to bet it. I just think it's a wide number, classic, just women's MMA.
But yeah, it's an Aileen Perez fight.
Yeah, shout out the twerk queen. You might see some cheeks clapping if she gets.
Yeah, she may.
But all right, we'll move on. Next fight: Taylor Lapilus versus Vince Morales back in the UFC. Taylor Lapilus minus 360, Vince Morales plus 285. Not crazy. I mean, like Lapilus, I think should win. Shocker is minus 360.
Yeah, I mean,
he's weird because he has this great record. Like he has a ton of experience, a lot of fights, won high percentage of them. He's kind of like he's just kind of low volume. He's just not like.
so I was kind of looking at like
he's just,
minus 175 by decision. I don't love taking props like that are like aren't plus money or anything, but it seems like he's just gonna kind of just do his thing and
low
then
volume,
just like
not
low
like a
volume
power
3
puncher.
rounds and then like go home.
Yeah, low volume, not like a big power puncher. Yeah, like another word, like I think he wins, but I think I'm not even going to put him in parlay anything. But yeah, I think he gets it done. The biggest favorite on the card in this next fight, we got Ludwig Klein minus 900 fighting Roosevelt Roberts at plus 600. I almost feel Roosevelt Roberts is so weird now. He just keeps being the guy that steps in for these short notice fights when he's plus like 700.
I know.
I feel like he just keeps doing this over and over again. He just keeps getting UFC fights. God bless him. He's just putting food on the table doing that. But Ludwig Klein's been on like a great run. Like who was he supposed to fight again here? He was supposed to fight someone that even the matchmaking he had, I remember, was kind of like interesting. Where I was like, he's kind of been on too good of a run to like get this opponent. But
it was Nicholas Mata.
Even that, yeah, that's right. I remember the matchmaking was weird.
And didn't he just destroy that random guy off the couch?
Yeah, he keeps,
Cunningham or something.
Yeah, because he keeps having guys pull out, and then he just like murders the guy he gets.
It's under
and I
2.5.
Feel like kind of another thing where I think he's gonna just kind of like smoke Roberts.
It's under 2.5 minus 175 is like just like too easy.
Even Klein by finish is like Klein by knockouts minus 120.
And Klein by finish is
minus 175. So yeah, it's another like I probably won't bet anything. I think Klein probably smokes him, but I don't know. I just Roberts is like, I don't think Roberts is awful. I just feel like I think he's probably like borderline UFC fighter.
Yeah.
Like he definitely has some wins in the UFC.
He knows his role. Like he has to take these fights.
Yeah, he'll stick around.
There was a point where they thought he might have been a little bit better, but
this man was a minus 200 favorite to Bahamundos.
Yeah.
Oh, tough. Next fight, we got a French hometown guy fighting, big favorite, Omar Sy versus Da Woon Jung. Sy's minus 535. Da Woon Jung plus 400. Sy's a big grappler, big submission threat.
Clear setup spot, I think.
Yeah, he's plus 120 by sub, plus 350 by knockout.
I'm not the biggest Umar Sy guy, but I mean, it looks like he's just going to go in there. And
he's minus 150 by finish. It's just a classic French card squash spot. Again, this is like if you want to bet to me, I'm like, I think he gets the sub. Like he's a guy very much like when he goes into a fight, like that's what he's looking for. He's looking to take him down, take your back.
So he did the Tuco.
Yeah, like I think
Tucos.
Like I think that's what he's going to be doing here probably. So if you want to actually, I don't think sub like just plus money is like the worst bet in the world.
And he'll want to get a finish in front of his home crowd. 100%, hopefully. 100%. We'll see how good this guy is eventually, but right now it's still to be seen. But this one, I think everyone knows what's up here.
Yeah, very interesting fight for this one. This is the featured prelim, I believe. Ian Cutelaba versus Ivan Erslan. Essentially a pick'em. Erslan's minus 115. Cutelaba minus 105. I've heard a lot of good things about Erslan. I've seen a lot of people picking Erslan in this fight.
Yeah, I like him. I
kind of like him too. And Cutelaba at this point, like I don't think his fight IQ is great. I've never been a fan of that. Obviously he's got power. He's a strong guy. But yeah, I like Erslan here, minus 115. Even like you see in the over under, like under 1.5 rounds is minus 160. We're expecting early fireworks.
Comes from KSW. He's had some wins. He's had some losses there. But like this is gonna be fireworks fight. I think they know why like they're both there. I'd be shocked if this gets to round 3. But
This is fun. Like these lines are so funny. Like both of them by finish are plus 120. Like that's like I feel like I feel like that's so rare. Like Ersland by knockout Ersland by knockout was plus 125. Cutelaba by knockout's plus 130. That's fascinating. Yes. They just think someone's gonna die.
Yeah.
Who is it?
I think it's gonna be Cutelaba. He just finds ways to die. But I mean, he Cutelaba's like sneaky young too. He's like only 30. I feel like he's 45. I think it's just probably because like he has that like classic white guy beard look that ages you a little bit.
He's just been in the UFC a long time.
Yeah.
But
we've seen a lot of things with him.
He stays around because he's fun.
He's fought some unbelievable guys. Ankalaev, Glover, I think, or maybe it was Junior Dos Santos.
He fought Johnny Walker. I know.
Johnny Walker, like he's fought some.
He got submitted by Johnny Walker. That was a crazy fight.
Ian Cutelaba.
He fought was it Kennedy and Chekwo? He fought.
Yep.
He's fought a bunch of guys.
Weigh-ins will be tomorrow. We'll see if he comes out in the Hulk. He has to, right?
Probably, right?
100%.
He should against the Frenchman. Ersland's French, right?
No, I think he's.
Is he not French? Oh, I guess he's fought in KSW. That's right. So I guess not.
Let me see.
No, you're right. You're right. That was me just.
No, Croatian. Sorry, no disrespect to Ivan, but he's Croatian, which is all obviously same part of the world. New Amsterdam Vodka, though, this is what's going to be flowing this weekend. I don't know if New Amsterdam has anything out in Perry, but in America, it'll be flowing at tailgates, in the man caves, everywhere. The UFC bar cart came by.
Unbelievable.
You and Robbie weren't there. You guys were out of town, but this bar cart was unreal. You could still buy tomorrow. Is Friday the 27th. It's the last day you can enter the contest. If you win, it's for free. You can put it in your house. It's amazing. It has a speaker in it. It also has the octagon on top. It's sick. I told them they should have had like a little like there was like multiple buttons you could press. Like it would either be like Anik call, Rogan call, like a Bruce Buffer.
Oh my god.
Yeah. But New Amsterdam obviously has been with us for a while. Been with Barstool forever. Shout out New Amsterdam. Find your wins with New Amsterdam this weekend. We will be trying to do the same as we continue to break down this card.
Oh, yeah, love it. So next onto the main card. Big one for us. Big one for the podcast.
This is big.
Farazim, the hometown boy, French boy, minus 130, fighting Matt the Steamroller Fravola.
So
plus 110. This coming back on the American, the Long Island boy.
They had now. It's one of those situations where it's kind of like, okay, it was kind of like this was your opportunity to have a big win, but he had this. They set him up in his hometown against a killer, Benoit. They knew it, and Fravola got caught. It wasn't like he got completely dominated. He got caught.
He got a big takedown.
Yeah,
it got up and he kind of just was coming, just like circling off and just kind of just looked down for a second.
Yeah,
just head kick just caught him and that was it.
Now the only thing here is I was like, the UFC sending him the Perry. Maybe it was Hunter Campbell being like, "Hey, you can get your lick back."
But he was begging for the French fight because of the way he like handled himself with the military thing.
Okay.
The BSD. He I don't know if you've realized on Twitter, he has cultivated like an incredible French fan base.
Really?
I'm telling you. I really think the reason he got this fight was that meme of like the person coming out on stage, whatever, they're like, who was
it? Yeah. That was Little Yachty, right?
Or yeah. Everyone's now memed it where so he posted one where it was like him coming out and the Caps was basically coming out in front of like the French fans and it literally got like 10,000 likes. Like he legitimately
imagine he gets a pop.
No, Jack, I'm telling you, I think he's going to get a French pop. He is not going to get booed. I'm telling you, it is so crazy. He has won over the French fan base. I love this. ZM's been on an incredible run too. Like he's had some nice wins.
ZM doesn't do it for me though.
I don't think so either. I think Fravola knocks him out.
The thing is, obviously the reach is going to be a lot, but Fravola, like
he will put himself in the
fight. Yeah.
And also, I don't think he's afraid of like Farazim's power. I don't think is something that he's going to be like shying away from.
I don't think anyone's really been afraid of Farazim.
That's like
he's like a decision machine.
This man wasn't shying away from Drew Dober.
Yeah. Even Benoit, he went into the fire pit with
exactly. Like I think I think Frivola is going to come to play here. Also, the dad roller just had a kid. Congrats, the Steamroller family. I think the dad coming off dad strength. Yeah, I think he's very excited to be out in Paris. He was begging to be on this card. He was asking Hunter Campbell, Shelby, Dan, all these guys like put me on this card.
All right.
They obliged, so I'm shout out to them for doing that. And yeah, I think Frivola gets a little. I think people are gonna be surprised. I think the French fans are gonna be. It's tough because obviously he's fighting a Frenchman, but I think he's gonna have French support here, and I think Frivola plus money.
I saw some people talking about, oh well, like is he coming back too quick from the Benoit? That was 10 months ago.
It was November.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, he not at all. It was November, and it wasn't he wasn't like out cold.
No, he got caught.
He got caught, and then he landed a big ground and pound shot. He kind of was like out for a second, but he wasn't like.
And he got up and was like. He did the thing where he showed respect and whatnot, which like obviously for Vola, thank you for your service. Thank you for being a fan of the pod.
Hold on a second. These lines right now, I need to, and this is, I know we are biased slightly, but I think I'm trying to come at this objectively as I can. For Ferrazzian by knockout in this fight is plus 250. The Steamroller is plus 550 by knockout.
It doesn't really make a lot of
sense. For Vola, if someone's going to get a knockout, to me, it's way more likely for Vola. Matt Frivola is plus 330 by finish here. I like that.
Faris Zaim, who, I mean, all the credit to him in the world. He hasn't had a finish since he came to the UFC.
Wait, didn't he? I thought he had a submission recently.
No.
Did he not?
He split against Claudio Puelles, Jai Herbert unanimous, Figlac unanimous, majority. He lost to Terrence McKinney by a submission.
That's right.
This man hasn't finished somebody since he was on European Beatdown 5 in 2019.
Yeah, I mean, give me Frivola plus money. Give me Frivola by finish.
Why not?
I roll with the guy. Like I mean,
we rolled with him against Benoit.
Yeah, like Frivola's a killer. I just don't. Some of these lines to me just don't really. I'm saying in this fight, some of the lines to me don't really make sense. I just can't believe that ZM is plus 250 by knockout and Frivola is plus 550.
I guess they just think the reach like that gives them a bigger.
I guess we've seen like we saw in the McKinney fight, like I don't want to say he's chinny, but he has been caught before. And even that was kind of a weird, like it was kind of like just a flash knockdown. He kind of just jumped on him and they stopped it really fast. But yeah, I like Frivola here plus money. I feel good about that. We'll move on to next fight. Another French hometown guy, Morgan Charrier versus Gabriel Miranda. Another massive favorite. Charrier's former like Cage Warriors champ. Minus 675. Miranda plus 490. Sure. I mean, I think Schreier is going to win. Miranda's interesting. I remember actually Benoit Saint Denis fought Miranda, knocked him out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like Schreier. This is probably like a stay away from me. It's weird because Miranda's fought like bigger weight classes before and is like kind of coming down. And Schreier in the past has fought like small weight classes and it's not coming up. He's been fighting 145 in the UFC, but he's even fought on like 135 in Cage Warriors, I think. I think he wins. I actually think he's very skilled. I remember you talking about recently that I thought he got absolutely robbed in the Shepe fight.
Yep.
Absolutely robbed. He won that fight. No doubt about it in my mind. And didn't get the decision.
It's interesting. The over is continuing to get juiced up. Both these guys, like Gabriel Miranda, like, I understand this is kind of a tapology capping, right? Which you don't really want to do too much, but like last fight against Shenyang, round 1, rear naked win. Round 2 against Benoit, his strikes. Round 1, and then before that against Diego Siqueira, which is not at UFC with Face of Danger, rear naked. Like this guy either wins or gets finished within 1.5 rounds. And then Charrier, or however you say his name, we'll just call him Morgan. Before his split against Chepe, it was round 1, round 3, round 1, split, round 3. So I guess maybe the bet they're looking at it that Charrier kind of takes his time a little bit more and then maybe develops to get it. But I don't know. I was looking at the under, but I kind of shying away with the market movement because I don't want to be like on the wrong side of it. So maybe that's how I was targeting it. Maybe Charrier round 2, round 3. Then, like if you're kind of agreeing with the market a little bit, We'll see. Are those are probably out now?
Yeah, they are. They are. He's plus 300 round 2, plus 500 round 3.
All right. So I mean, nothing great, but maybe if you want something in this fight, you could just it's not a bad look. So yeah, decent fight. I don't hate Morgan at all as a prospect, but we'll see how far he can go. Obviously, Cage Warriors guy.
Yeah. All right, next fight, a fight I'm really excited for. One of my guys is fighting. Brian Battle versus Kevin Juiced, who Juiced's a French guy. Brian Battle minus 170. This line's come down some.
Did you see that clip
Juiced
of him
plus 142
getting knocked out in his
as a heavyweight?
Yeah.
Crazy.
People forget Brian Battle. He would quote tweet. He's like, I used to be 300 pounds when I started.
He said when he started training, he was 21, he's 300 pounds. He had that amateur fight. He got knocked out early, and then he kind of just like never looked back since. He's lost.
Oh, he's unbelievable.
Obviously, lost a ton of weight. Won the Ultimate Fighter. Has had a really nice run in the UFC. He's lost every fight but one in the UFC, and he's fought some like decent guys.
He's awesome.
I'm a huge fan. Obviously, he's one of my guys. I'm heavily attached to him. Would love to have him on the show one day. He's a pretty personal guy too. I'm kind of this fight's interesting because Juiced is a guy that I wasn't high on, and I will say as like kind of like he proved me wrong. At least he's like impressed me in what I've seen. I'm worried for Battle about him getting the grappling going here. The only time we've seen Battle lose was he fought Renat. He basically just got held down for 3 rounds. And Battle is well rounded. I think it's just the takedown defense. He's got good jiu-jitsu. He's got really good hands. We've seen him knock people out with crazy hands, with kicks. The Sato knockout was crazy. They've been showing the highlight of him when Gabe Green just charged him like a maniac and he just got slept. Battle slept him really bad. I like Battle. I guess he's my guy. I'm going to ride with him. But I'm definitely worried about if Juiced just goes the grappling route and is able to just take him down and hold him down. And Juiced's a tough guy too. He's got good hands himself. He's not a slouch on the feet.
And Juiced is bigger than Battle.
Yeah,
which is going to be a little bit. This is going to be a tough fight.
That's why I'm worried about him being able to wrestle.
And I think, I mean, if anything, Juiced may be a decent look just because I think this may be a 50-50 fight and you're getting the underdog. So, but Battle, I mean, he's proven us wrong before. This is a tough spot. What?
He's proven you wrong before.
Who did he fight?
You said he's proven us wrong before.
Oh, that is true.
I've always believed in you, Brian Battle.
I did bet him against what's his name?
Angelusa, which was nonsense. He was smoking Angelusa.
Well, I had him inside the round 2, round 3 for big.
That was me too. That was gross.
Oh no,
Battle was smashing him.
Fuck, what was that? What was the one that he knocked the guy out in 5 seconds?
Gabe Green.
All that being said, Juiced may be a decent dog play. I haven't placed it yet, but I've been considering it.
All right. Next fight, we got 3 more fights in the card. We got William Gomez, who's a Frenchman, versus Joe Anderson Brito. Brito minus 298. William Gomez plus 240. Gomez is kind of weird too, where he's like very low volume, but he actually has fought. He's fought well. I remember they showed the highlight UFC package recently. He got caught in a crazy triangle. He fought in the last Paris card.
Yep.
Got caught in a crazy triangle, like towards the end. Was like his quote was like, "I would never tap in front of the French fans." I guess I like that quote. I respect it. I think Brito wins the fight.
I think
Burrito's interesting because he had some weird fights, but he's actually I was talking about it. He beat Diego Lopez in the split decision of the Contender Series years ago, but then he like lost the fight to Bill Algeo.
Yep.
But he also has been like he be like a marauder at the same time. Like we've seen him be that, and I wonder if he can do that here because I think he's the type of guy where I don't think Gomez is going to be able to lure him into this like little like low volume fight. Like I think Brito's going to make him fight. And I think Burrito's going to get the better of that. Like if he brings Gomez to a firefight, I think it's bad news for him. But I don't think Burrito's going to allow him to play the little like touch game. We saw like our guy Francis Marshall kind of got caught in with Gomez. I think Gomez, like I respect Gomez, but I just think Burrito is much better, more powerful. I think he could win this fight like on the feet and on the mat.
Yeah, no, I think Gomez takes care of I think Brito takes care of business. I think this is his fight through and through. I think he can get a finish. I think he can win by decision. I'm not a big fan of Gomez. We do have to see him for this weight cut too, because his last one went so poorly.
Yeah, good point.
So, but I like Brito. Everything that you said, he'll get it going. he'll get the fight going. He's not going to fall into Gomez's game. But I mean, there is the chance that he does. That I think it's reflected in the line though.
Then we got the co-main event. Nasruddin Imavov versus Brendan Allen, big rank matchup. Me and Jack interviewed Brendan Allen this week. Me and him cleared the air. No beef. We're all good. Imavov minus 205. Brendan Allen plus 170. Really interesting fight to me, because this is a line that I looked at, and Imavov is should be the favorite. I'm fine with that. I kind of think there's value on Allen as the dog here. I wonder, Imavov, his hands did look good against Cannonier. I still stand by incredibly early stoppage. I think most would agree, but he did have him hurt like that. He definitely rocked him. Yeah, I think Allen. I'm worried about him. I think if he gets to the mat, I think he can hold his own and do well. And I think we saw Imavov even have trouble. He had Delete hurt really bad and kind of just couldn't get him out of there. So I wonder. I really feel like this is closer to a 50-50 fight than the line would acknowledge. So that's why I kind of like Allen at plus 170. But I just think this is a close fight. I think it probably goes later into the fight, deeper into the fight. What's the over on this fight? It's over? Oh no. So it's a 3-round, correct?
Yeah, because Allen wanted 5 rounds.
He wanted 5. He said that to us. Over 2.5 minus 135. I almost kind of like the over. I don't know if I'd bet that. I'll probably maybe put something on Allen. But yeah, I just think it's close to 50-50 fight than plus 170 here for Allen.
I kind of like the under here, but then I was thinking about it. Most of the under may rely on Allen, so you might as well just roll with Allen. And then also there's a chance he could win by decision. Imavov is good. Brendan Allen, I think his physicality could get it going a little bit. He is a madman, and his striking is pretty good too. So, yeah, I don't hate Allen at all, especially at plus 170. I'm trying not to get biased by our interview, though.
Winner here gets a big fight.
Yeah,
I think the winner of this fight puts themselves clearly in title contention, undeniably. The only problem is I think for either winner is that the division's almost kind of stacked up right now, where you have DDP obviously is the champ. Strickland's going to be next. Dana said that already. But then I think you're in this. I think that the winner can put himself as the next guy. I'd like to think that.
Yeah, you have the weird Whitaker situation.
That's you have Whitaker Hamzat who could easily jump them, and there's the fact of the matter is both of them are bigger stars than these two.
Yeah.
So that's why I think that's where I'm the winner of this might have to fight one more.
Yeah, and it's kind of obviously we have the DDP Strickland 2 coming up, but then again, also if Strickland wins the second one, they're gonna have to do a third.
I know that's why I think the problem is the winner of this is probably gonna have to fight one more.
Yep.
To get to the title, but I think the winner of this fight, especially if it's decisively at all or is a finish, I think they will clearly at least be in a title eliminator of their next fight. I think.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
I think if the winner gets if it's a decisive win, I think their next fight will be that fight is when they get a title shot.
And you think that would be against potentially a Hamzat or a Whitaker?
Yeah, I think if they have to wait, especially if they have to wait, I think Whitaker versus the winner would be, or Whitaker's to win first, or the winner of Hamzat Whitaker versus the winner of this would be a perfect all right, winner, no matter what, winner is getting the next title shot.
And then Hamzat has said if Trump wins, he'll be able to fight in the United States again. So it also depends on that a little bit.
On the election.
Yeah, Hamzat's made it clear that if the election goes in Trump's way, which Dana obviously is cheering for Trump, but that would also allow the middleweight division to be a lot easier to kind of figure out and flesh out, because Hamzat, if he beats Whitaker, I mean, I think if Hamzat beats Whitaker, he's going to
get the title shot for sure, 100%.
But then there's so much that relies on the scheduling. Obviously, they're going back over there.
If Whitaker wins, obviously him and Allen talk if Whitaker versus the winner of this would be a great fight.
100%. Yeah.
And just the fact that Whitaker's obviously he's had the belt, he's fought for it a few times.
It
wouldn't be the craziest thing to say, hey, you know what, Strickland's getting the next one. Why don't you you fight this guy, and then you are undeniably. But I think it's tough for Whitaker, because Whitaker, in his mind, he knows Hamzat will get the title shot with a win. So I think Whitaker's going to be if I beat Hamzat, what do I have to do to get a fucking another title shot?
Yeah, I know.
And it'd be, again, the only problem is I think especially if DDP sold to the belt, it'll be he washed you already. Like, why do you
I
get
know.
another one? Where Strickland, he might get one easier.
Yep.
But the only problem is, I agree with you. If Strickland wins,
Then it's
they'd probably do a trilogy.
especially because like
They're good. The first fight was good,
and then
this fight I think will be good again whenever they book.
and if Strickland wins the second fight, it'll be a close fight.
For sure, I agree.
Like, I mean, what's the chance Strickland finishes DDP? That would be like, but
that'd be crazy.
But even if Strickland did that, there would if Strickland finishes DDP, there may be a chance
Whitaker
says
could
we're not doing. Yeah, we're not.
Whitaker Hamzat could just get the.
Yeah. But that's probably the least likely scenario of that fight.
Yeah.
The most likely is a 48-47. Not most likely, but I mean, for a Strickland win is a 48-47.
Yeah. Yeah. Fair. All right. Main event. The French superstar Benoit Saint Denis versus
God of War.
The God of War versus Renato Money Moicano. We interviewed Moicano this week as well. It was awesome. Benoit Saint Denis minus 285. Moicano plus 230. This is tough. I love Moicano as a fighter. And I think if it gets extended, he could be live. But I think they're both so good on the ground. Moicano especially is unbelievable on the ground. I just think BSD's physicality and all that, and just that like killer be killed will prevail. I think BSD wins.
This is an unbelievable fight.
It's a great fight because it's one of those, like, if because Benoit Saint Denis, he comes forward with such a lack of respect for his opponent. I don't think, and when I say that, I don't mean like he doesn't respect Moicano as like a man. I mean the way he fights. He just comes forward as if you can't hurt him. We saw that bite him in the ass big time against Poirier because he's clearly a guy like you can't do that against. But he was fighting incredibly well in that fight until he wasn't. And there's a staph infection, all that played into it. People have talked about, he's talked about. The big fucking staph lump on his forehead.
I think it was pretty clear, yeah. And he was on antibiotics that like just destroy you. Like, it's like you can go and live regular life, but once you try to do something like really physical, like your cardio gets shot immediately. But yeah, I kind of keep thinking about this fight, and like I had a moment yesterday where I was like Moicano maybe, but then I was just like BSD is like just I don't know, like I think this is just a great. It's not a squash spot because would be a really good victory, but I think he's just going to kind of go in there and just finish him. That being said, I think there's a shot Moicano could find. Would it be shocking if he finds a guillotine and submits Benoit? We saw
the only thing with Benoit. I think he ain't tapping.
He would have to go.
Benoit ain't tapping. You got to put him out.
Yeah,
and I think that's scary because a guy like that.
That's
like,
what DP.
He will not die. Like
Diamond had it. Yeah. I think ended up taking him inside the distance, maybe round 1 or round 2 too. But if it gets extended, you're right. I mean, Moicano like takes him into deep waters.
Moicano's tough as hell.
Yeah.
Like I will
RDA
never
fight.
forget the RDA where he's getting the brains beat out of him, and then he comes
smiling.
back, and then he's just like winning the last. I'm like, oh my god.
No, Money Moicano, he's the man.
Tough as hell.
We had the interview with him. Please go check it out.
Yeah, he was awesome. I think BSD wins, but because BSD fights like there's no cards, there's no judges. Yeah. Like, it's like, how can you watch this guy fight and not like him? Like, he just all he knows is come forward.
And same with Moicano's another guy. It's like these are two of the most likable guys in the UFC, specifically based on their fighting style. I know both of them. Like, Benoit doesn't really have a personality. He does, but he doesn't really show his. But Moicano's like can be like controversial, quote unquote. But I mean, he's funny as fuck. Yeah,
Moicano's the fucking man.
He's the man.
But BSD, according to Joe Rogan, has probably killed a guy with a rock.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, so this is gonna be awesome. This is a fucking
great
fight.
Main event. It's gonna be, I would say, if you're on the East Coast, prelims start at noon. Main card starts at 3. So main event, I imagine we going around like 5:30 Eastern, probably, give or take. But I'm
turn it on one of the TVs, especially that 5:30. It's right before Bama, Georgia.
Yeah, it's perfect. It'll be done before Bama, Georgia for sure.
Which is awesome.
Great.
It's a great fight night card. And then wait a second, it's next week. Utah?
Yes. Yep. Yeah. It's October 7th, right?
That makes sense.
Yeah. Utah's next week. So we
got Poatan.
Yeah, Poatan, Khalil Roundtree next week. Jose Aldo's back fighting Batista. That's on the main card.
Who can forget Raquel Pennington against Juliana Pena?
I already forgot.
Dolidze, Kevin Holland, though.
Yeah, great. Dolidze, Kevin Holland, great fight. Dolidze back down.
I'll tell you what, it's a banger. Yasmin Lucindo against Marina Rodriguez is kind of a banger.
That is a banger. And then also this one could be boring, but you never know. You got Joaquin Buckley and Wonder Boy.
Yep.
Is the featured prelim. And I know Wonder Boy he talked about not thrilled about being on the prelims. Probably the first time he's been on the prelims in a long time.
Ihor Porteria is back against Cesar Almeida.
Yeah,
obviously,
Almeida's going to knock him out. But
and the UFC is really trying. Wait, but Cesar lost, right, to Roman.
He did to Kopilov. But he can't grapple. He's a kickboxer.
But that being said, the UFC, I think they know what they're doing, putting him on the Poton card. Like they were just like, yeah, we're putting him there, and then it's like, but
but the Pretorius, I think he's gonna knock out Ihor. That's what I think.
Ihor, but we love Ihor fights. Ihor's the man.
I do love betting against him. Although I bet on him in the
last one too. I
bet on him when he fought what's his name? Shogun, like the corpse of Shogun. And then he literally danced on his grave like he wasn't beating like a 50-year-old man.
Very crazy.
But
in Brazil.
Yeah,
but that's Ihor. Like you can't.
Yeah. I mean, he got a dub in the UFC. He got a knockout. He's hyped about it.
Yeah, he was.
Might be the only one he ever gets.
All right, guys.
Yeah, great. I would say appreciate everyone watching, listening, like the stream. Yeah, good luck everyone with their bets. Should be an awesome card.
I'm gonna play the interviews now. If you're listening on podcast.
I would say if you're listening on podcast, Jack, we're adding you can stay listening. We're the Moicano interview we did, which is awesome. And the Brent Allen interview we did will be starting right now. So appreciate you.